Hey guys, what is up? Today we are back with another video, and I know it's been a good couple weeks, so I figured I would make this one. I know it's 9 days old. And today we are talking about Dreamcastguy. Now I get it. I've been gone for absolutely however long. I've been doing life situations and all that, okay, but I have a reason. I decided to take a break of doing YouTube a little bit just to get my health back in order, taking a break and spending time with the family. But that's not why you're here. What you're here today is that you're here about Dreamcastguy, who thinks that the PS5 would be pretty close over $1,200. And here's why he's wrong. So let's get right into the video.
It's both the price of individual games, because there's talks about making each game cost $100, maybe even starting this year, but also the cost of console.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why the PS5 Pro is $900 and you're looking at $1,000 including tax, because they think that, oh, it's going to be a right business decision. And let's face it, we all know it's not going to work, because if the price goes up, nobody ain't going to buy it besides rich people who can afford it. And then the market's going to keep going up, and we all know how this goes. If nobody can afford it, nobody ain't going to be interested in buying it. That's the same thing with a $70 price point of video games. Nobody ain't going to buy the price point at $100, okay? Not even GTA 6, okay? And let's get right back into the video of his other point, so...
Maybe they've grown up seeing stuff or played stuff casually here and there. That was the generation where a lot of people for the first time said, I want to get in on that. They called this the fresh adoption.
Yeah, what he means by that is like a fresh refresh of the console update where it can run more smoother instead of 30 FPS on PS4. And that's also another good example. Well, actually a good point, but his other point is just entirely retarded at that point, because it makes no sense of calling it that, because let's face it, $80 for a Nintendo Switch game, especially for the Nintendo Switch 2 that people have been asking for, of like a high refresh console, like that's very powerful as a PS5 and an Xbox Series X and S. And it's not even coming across that, dude. And it's sad because they just increased the price point for that too. And this is also another thing what's also retarded, because I feel this is like a dumbass take, and I know it's a hot topic. So I'm just going to say it for everybody. Well, I'm going to say it is for mostly myself. If you are buying a $90 physical media, you are part of the problem. If you're buying $70 or $80 or $100, you are part of that problem where the market's going to keep going up.
Much a PlayStation fanboy account. It's an account that very much cheerleads a lot of the good stuff that PlayStation does, talks about all their successes. It's interesting that this morning they announced a drastic price increase. The PlayStation 5 went up $150.
Yeah, as much as PlayStation said that they didn't want to, because they said that the only reason why they have to is due to tariffs, because they're trying to enter the United States, because they know that's where people are going to mostly buy their games. And on top of that too, mostly people who are interested in buying PlayStation games are mostly like NBA people, Call of Duty, your Fortnites, your Racings, your Maddens, your FIFAs, your Need for Speeds, your Minecraft, that type of particular stuff, even Roblox, for example. So I'm just really saying this out of a guess, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, it's either way, it doesn't matter how you look at it, the market's going to keep expanding. And on top of that too, if you really don't like the idea, then don't buy it. Just get a PC at that point, because now things are starting to go lower, mostly RAM, because the AI idea is not working so well like people thought it would, and due to this high pushback. And on top of that too, it's also because people can't really afford anything right now. People have to pay bills, people have to feed houses, like that kind of stuff. And let's face it, mostly middle class and lower class can't afford a $650 console. So you really got to think about it logically of what people are going to spend. And let's just continue on. I had to cut this down so much, so...
Even as excited as people would, as big as that budget is, as perfect as the game may actually be, think about how tiny and inaccessible it would be. Only the people that are able to afford a $1,200 console, probably $150 controllers, at a $500 TV bare minimum, and that's for a crappy TV at this point. And then,
Yeah, you know what I would say about that? I would say just stick with your gear that you have. I'm sticking with PC. I would probably never buy a $650 console. I would probably just buy a used one, much more cheaper, because no offense, the retail price is entirely stupid, because that's why most retailers told Xbox that they're not going to sell it at that high of a price point. And I think retailers would tell Sony to be like, no, you're not going to sell it at that price point, because either way, that would mean that nobody ain't going to buy your product, because you would take a heavy loss out of it. And no offense, Sony can't afford doing that because they bought Bungie for $3.6 billion, and look where that is. And on top of that too, this is the end of the video, and plus his take of making an example of GTA 6 is entirely retarded, because nobody would buy that game at $100, because Take-Two CEO said that he doesn't know about video games, so he just let the devs cook. And either way, he is based as shit, and the dude seems pretty chill of letting the devs cook on that game. So I mean, I'm just gonna say this. You guys have a good one. Leave 100k likes. I hope it does. I'm just making a joke about it. But, yeah, that's it. And have a great one. See ya.